Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the TripleJump podcast. It's a video game podcast. My name is Ben.
My name is Peter.
And my name is Ashton.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
How are we doing today?
Good.
All right, thanks.
You've been away?
I have, yes. Very exciting. I don't know if I could. Do you mind?
No?
Go for it.
I'm in a video game. It's
Whoa.
called Cabernet. It's a 2D
All right, brag.
RPG. All right. 2D RPG about vampires that's out on PC and consoles. Now, it came out this week, and I went to the launch party. And
You
it
can
was
very Ben.
very. Yes, I am
Can you?
officially a romanceable character.
Yeah.
You know this.
Ben's partner was like, I'm so going to romance Ben.
At the party, she was being weird to the people who worked on the game. Like, I'm going to be so weird. This is not really the energy
like,
I was hoping to bring
babe,
to this.
shut up.
Please just calm down. It did have unlimited cocktails, though.
Like
so it
how
was-
weird?
Whoa.
What weird?
Just,
I'm intrigued.
I mean, it's not. You don't see full. You don't see full bush or anything like that.
What?
If that's what you're
That's
asking.
not what that is not the question I
Okay.
was asking.
I
meant
just.
how-
I did not know what you meant.
How was your partner being weird
Okay.
to the
I knew that
party
that's what
organisers?
Peter meant, but
I had no
I was just
idea.
enjoying you saying
Like,
it's not
what?
full
You didn't see
bush.
full
It was
bush.
so good.
No, it's not that kind of sexy game.
No.
Or
Oh, well, that's
party.
a
No,
letdown.
she was
Or party.
just laying it on thick, like to anyone who would listen. Like, he's a romanceable character,
okay.
and I'm gonna romance him.
That's so
You know,
funny.
we all deserve that level of support in our lives. But
Yeah.
just for the clearance of any doubt, you don't see full bush in the game
No.
at all.
Well, now I'm not interested.
But I did have to make kissy noises with my hand
Oh.
to do the kiss noises, which
Lovely.
was an experience. Yeah.
Okay,
Apparently, that was really weird, but it was a lovely time. And if you are so inclined, you can check out the game now. It's available on literally everything, I believe. So very exciting. Had a lovely time. And that was on Tuesday night. And yesterday was a long drive. And now I feel a bit weird today. Oh, feel a bit strange.
Wacky.
So I'm excited to talk about games. Apart from that one, I haven't had a chance to play too many other games because it's just been a bit full on. But we've got all sorts to talk about
If only
today.
we had a segment in this podcast where we would talk about the games that we've been playing.
Is that new?
We could come up with
I
one.
guess we could do it, yeah.
Okay, well, we'll talk
do
about
that
that,
later.
See if we
when
can
we
find room for it.
Yeah.
when we get to it. Each and every week, Ashton Matthews.
Oh, yeah.
We're sponsored by a very real video game adjacent sponsor. Helps us keep the single light bulb on in this studio. I believe you have the ad read in front of you there.
I do. You may know a new Obsidian game came out this week called Avowed, and they've made it very clear that you cannot romance any of the party members.
Full bush?
There's no full bush.
Oh, what?
God.
But they heard people's outcry and not being able to romance such hotties as, and it's the only one I've met so far, the Fishman.
The Fishman.
Yeah.
Is that played by Gareth's
It is,
voice actor?
yeah.
Okay.
So what they've done is they've created a sort of a DLC spin-off where you can romance the characters, and that's all you can do. It's got none of the rest of the RPG elements. It's just a dating sim.
Okay.
And it is called Endowed.
Oh,
Oh.
okay. I was trying to work it out. That's good.
Endowed, but you still don't get to see any.
Well, you might see full bush in Endowed, but not in Avowed.
Oh, I see. Okay, so this is a spin-off.
It's
Right,
it's
gotcha.
like a DLC for those of you who just want to
It's
Because
just
they
end
didn't
to
have
end
that.
bush
Get
in
down with the
DLC.
fish
That's
man.
all you get is just full bush.
just full bush
Wow.
from
The-
beginning to end.
Yeah.
That sounds like incredible value because
Yeah.
that is a point of contention with people, isn't it? With Avowed.
Is where the fish have bush on.
Well, there's that,
That's a good
obviously.
question.
I mean, it goes without saying, but
Yeah.
like Avowed famously doesn't have full
You
bush.
can't
Or any
romance any
bush.
of the characters.
No.
Okay.
So that is
Okay.
sad. But
That's what this is for.
But that's what this is for.
That's
yeah,
exciting. Is it like a
Endowed.
visual novel or is it?
It's not real, actually.
Oh, for God's
You
sake.
actually can't romance
Oh, you've got us
the
there.
fish, the sexy fish man.
Oh.
That's disappointing, but you can become fast friends with the fishman.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. You can become pals.
Okay.
Okay.
But not.
So he might show you full bush.
He might. You could go
Like,
to ask
if he had
him
a
in
medical
casual,
problem,
like,
he would, and
yeah.
you were good enough
Or just be
friends,
like, out
yeah.
of
Can you just
curiosity,
look
like,
at this
hey,
for me, please? And
do
see what...
you have full bush?
Does this look irregular?
Yeah.
Is this raised?
Yeah.
Should I go to my medieval GP?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can feel something on my back, but I can't see it. Will you just have a look, please?
Right.
See.
Yeah.
That's what friends do.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And of course, you can do that in Avowed, but you can't do
You can't
anything,
do anything
sexy
else, no.
in Avowed.
It's all just in a completely platonic way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not real though. You can't play
it's a-
Endowed.
it's a
Sorry.
shame. Hopefully soon, though. That's what they'll work on next.
I wonder
Yeah.
if Fishman will be in next year's Hunky Boys list.
Oh,
Could be.
that's a good,
Fingers crossed.
bloody good chance.
He's
but-
a bit too hunky, I think.
Oh.
Really?
Well, he's quite buff.
Oh, he's too conventionally.
Yeah,
hunky.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
I mean,
he's not a
he
Boeing
is a
747.
He is a fish man,
Right,
so
okay,
it's not like. But then there was that. What was that? The Shape of Water or something?
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah,
movie
yeah.
where she does have sex with a fish man,
No, does she have
Does
sex
she?
with him in that? I didn't know that.
and I think she turns into a fish. I watched it with my parents. It was quite an
bloody
interesting
hell.
experience.
gosh.
Wow.
Yeah,
There's full bush in that then.
yeah, I think so.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to go watch that then. No, we're not sponsored by Endowed. We are, of course, sponsored by our wonderful patrons over at patreon.com/Team TripleJump. If you go and support us there, you get access to all sorts of rewards, including asking questions on this podcast, early access to worst games and weirdest games ever, exclusive access to episodes of Rules Boss and Main Menu, and so much more. Please consider going over there and checking it out. Our website is triplej.mup. There you can find, I feel like I should clarify, it's triplej.mp. Recently, I've just been doing j.mup, and I
Right.
wonder if people are doing MUP.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good point.
But if you are, why?
Why are you
Why
doing
didn't?
that?
Well, how come you can't work out what it's supposed to be?
You
Don't
will
be
have-
rude.
Yeah. Is there something
Mup?
wrong with you?
Who's putting triplej.mup?
But that's what Ben's saying.
That's what
I
I'm
know,
saying.
but still.
Whoa.
If you
Sorry.
really wanted to access the website, you would
Idiot.
find it.
Yeah, you
Triple
would.
JU dot, and by that I don't mean JJJU.mp.
It's triple jump, but there's a dot between the U and the M.
There we are.
Yeah.
Some clever clogs over here decided that we should name the URL that.
Hey,
So
it
all our
looks great.
emails are marked as spam because no one has a .mp email
Are they?
address. No, sometimes though. Surely, maybe. Anyway, triplejU.mp is our website. There you can find links to everything that we do. And triplejumpshop.com is our website. No, it's not. Yes, it is.
yeah,
No, it's not.
it's our merch.
It's our shop site. That's it. I just did. What's going on? Anyway, you can buy some
You got it.
merchandise there. I'm wearing some.
I'm not wearing any.
You're wearing some.
Sorry.
He's got secret one under his jumper there. Very exciting.
I always know that when I'm not wearing it, your guys are probably wearing too. So
Yeah. Well, Thursday is cycle day for me, so
Yeah.
I'm always wearing the tracksuit.
I'm always wearing merch.
Yeah.
All the time.
it's true.
Even at his wedding,
Yeah.
Yeah.
he wore a triple jump blazer. It was very, it was
Yeah.
very fitting. And that's it. That's all I'm going to plug. Out this week, there's a couple of things coming up. I should say coming up.
Yeah,
There's a couple of
there's
things.
not any special videos out this weekend. However, next week, every Soulsborne ranked.
Fingers crossed.
Question mark?
Fingers
Fingers
crossed.
It's another huge mungus one, isn't it?
Yeah,
Another
it is.
huge mungus.
Yes.
So that's out next Friday. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, we're working
It's
on
not
it.
finished yet, but
Yeah.
fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Every single boss from Demon Souls, Dark Souls, Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne, and Elden Ring, what's it called? Shadow of the Erdtree.
which, as we all know, is a separate game that deserves to win its own prizes.
It certainly
and awards.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not Sekiro, because that is a slightly different genre. I'm sure people will understand. But certainly the Soulsborne series, all ranked. Very exciting. Hopefully get it out before Night Rain when they bugger it up for us by
Yeah.
releasing more bosses.
Yeah.
Buggers. So please be excited for that coming very soon. Shall we crack on with question one?
Oh, I think we bloody should.
All right, then. It's from Cameron J. Keywood, who says, "Hi, guys. Phil Spencer
Hi.
said he's not trying to move players all over to Xbox anymore, with his aim being to allow more people to play Xbox games on other systems. Is this statement the final nail in the console war, which, in my opinion, has been over for some time? Kind regards, Cameron."
Kind regards, Cameron.
Cameron regards.
Yes.
Kind.
And I have a little snippet from the Eurogamer write-up about this. Talking to Xbox Era podcast, Spencer acknowledged that while selling games on competitor devices means Xbox only recoups 70% of the sale, with 30% going to the competitor storefront, that 70% still helps Xbox build great portfolios. That's a quote. And here's the bigger quote. "There are people, whether it's their libraries are on PlayStation or Nintendo, whether it's that they like the controller better, they just like the games that are there. And I don't want to then look at that and say, well, there's no way that we should be able to build business there or find..."
Did he say it like this?
Yeah, I really hate it.
Are you
when
having a stroke,
No,
Phil?
he said this is
Phil
exactly what
AI.
he said.
Okay.
I hate it when the verbatim quote people and they're saying, "Yeah, you see the thing. Well, because my opinion on this is," and they write all of that in.
Where's the ...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't want to then look at that and say, well, there's no way that we should be able to build a business there or find fans of our franchise there. I'm not trying to move them all over to Xbox anymore. We're also invested in where our games are. Let's just allow more people to play. And yes, the 70% that we make on games on other platforms is helpful to us being able to build great portfolios. But like we showed at Developer Direct, and I hope this will continue to show through the rest of the year, full stop.
Okay.
Yeah.
At that point, he ate a banana. Or
Yeah,
something.
Yeah.
He had a quick
Okay.
cracker.
Blimey.
So that's what he said.
Okay.
I mean, I would agree with Cameron in that the console wars as we once knew them have definitely been over for a little while. It feels like I don't think this moment in particular is kind of significant in that sense. However, it is unusual to kind of hear it from the horse's mouth that we're feeling less competitive in that sense with our competitors, and we're no longer focusing on we're no longer focusing on Xbox as a home for all of our players. We're more essentially they're doing a bit of a Sega, really. It feels like they're more concerned with making a great library of games and less bothered about whether those games are being played on their hardware, which is something that this has been a long time coming, I think, from Xbox, and we've slowly crept towards this moment, I suppose, with Phil Spencer now just saying it outright. But it seems to have been the philosophy for some time now.
I mean, the whole this is an Xbox thing
exactly.
has been very much this is an Xbox.
This is an Xbox.
This Billiam.
I am an Xbox.
Are you really?
Yeah. And I think that it's not entirely surprising. And I think if anyone looked at this news and went, "What? That's crazy!
Yeah.
I never saw that coming," then they obviously haven't been on the internet very much over the last 12 months. But I mean, I think it's a good thing for Xbox to do. They obviously haven't matched the PlayStation in this console generation at all when it comes to sales and impact. And they've already said that the next time they release a console, it's going to be something very different. So I do think that this isn't remotely surprising from Phil. I think that it's nice to kind of just come out with it and say we just want everyone to play our games now and be quite transparent. But that's kind of Phil's whole MO, is just here's what's going on, here's how I'm feeling. But hasn't he recently also changed his title? He went from being head of Xbox to head of Microsoft Gaming.
I think, that was maybe a little while ago when they sort of merged the structures slightly.
Well, I think he changed his Twitter bio this week.
Oh, did he?
Oh, right.
Oh, okay, interesting.
So yeah, it's all very much kind of been coming, like you say, for a while. So it's not super surprising. And I think it's a good thing. I think more people playing more games can only do good things for developers. And especially with things like the Developer Direct, where you're seeing slightly smaller studios that work for Xbox getting their kind of time in the sun. I think it's great to allow those games to be on every platform, because it just does better things for the devs themselves, rather than just you can only sell to a specific group of people and that's it. Your player base already shrinks dramatically. If you have the entire gaming base, there's only going to be a certain amount of people who are into your game anyway. But if you shrink that by 2/3 and only have the Xbox players, your player base is so much smaller than it could be. So I think it makes complete sense, and I think it's a very good thing that Microsoft/Xbox are going down this path, I think.
On the surface, obviously, it's just good news for everyone that you all get to play these games, and it's nice to hear just a really plain speaking admission that yes, this is what we're doing. We're not really worried about bringing people to Xbox anymore. I do have to question whether Phil Spencer is thrilled about it, being a long-time Xbox guy. I get the impression certainly that the goal was always, with these acquisitions, to make these games exclusive, to drive Xbox console sales and make Xbox a dominant force.
Yeah.
And clearly something has changed way above Phil Spencer on a Microsoft level, where pressure's been put on to, you're spending a lot of money here. How are we going to recoup this? Well, we got this Game Pass thing. Okay, put Game Pass on everything. Start releasing these games on other platforms. So obviously, at the end of the day, I imagine nobody internally at Xbox is losing sleep over the fact that, okay, the mission has changed, but, we've they have cut a lot of jobs, but we've all still got jobs and we're able to put our games out and look like, quote unquote, the good guys in terms of saying, hey, I don't care where you are. Play Avowed. That's a bad example. It's not out on other systems. Play one of our other games that's, going to be coming soon. Indiana Jones, etc. But clearly, I think something did change. And I also have to wonder how the diehard Xbox faithful feel about this. Not purely from the
I can only
perspective.
assume they've been very rational about it.
Oh well, naturally,
Calm.
I think they all burned their Xboxes a while ago. Actually,
Yeah.
in the last purge, but
Yeah.
um,
An effigy of Phil Spencer's been burned in a park.
not necessarily from the perspective of, you're taking our games away and giving them to other people, but more so from the fact that there are a number of reasons to own an Xbox, but the increasing push for games on other platforms, for Game Pass being available on literally everything, it could potentially feel to those people. And I would understand to a degree that actually the reasons to own an Xbox, to have invested their time and their money in the platform, might actually be getting less and less as time goes by. Obviously, they've still got their digital library, all that kind of stuff. But with this sort of seismic change in Xbox's approach of like, hey, we don't even care if you have an Xbox anymore. It would be hard if you were in a sort of core sect of Xbox players potentially to hear that when it's like, well, you fed us the Xbox dream for years and we've been buying into it, and now you're just saying that it doesn't matter. I would understand if people would feel a bit miffed by
I also
this.
think there's the side of like, well, everyone on PlayStation is getting our games, but we're not getting any PlayStation games.
I was going to say, like, it's nice to see it on this side, but I think it would be even nicer for everyone if it was followed up in all directions. And Sony are not going to follow up with the same thing, or certainly not to anywhere near the same extent. They might throw the odd bone to PC or to Game Pass or something after, perhaps on a timed basis, but they won't be doing the same thing here. So the Xbox, the console wars, in a sense, they might be over from the point of view of Xbox and Microsoft. They're saying, look, we're not bothered about bringing people over to our hardware particularly, but I still think that PlayStation, and in their own way, Nintendo as well, are going to still...
I mean, you're not going to get Mario on Xbox.
No, of course not. So they're going to, in their own way, carry on being concerned with, well, we need to keep hold of our toys and make sure that people are interested in us as a company. I do think, though, that it's kind of ironic, really, that when we reach a point where the business model for Xbox is seemingly not, we need to drive sales of our consoles as much as we need to make people enjoy our games, is just around the time where digital becomes the main way that people are purchasing their games. And he's saying they've got this 70% sale issue with digital storefronts, whereas you go back a decade or so, I suspect that selling a hard copy of a game on Xbox, you earn just as much money as selling the same hard copy on PlayStation if you're a third-party publisher. So, there was a time when it wouldn't have mattered who you're selling to. If you're a publisher of a video game, you're going to earn the same amount per sale. But now, because of the storefronts, if people are buying via the PlayStation Store, you are making less than you would do if you were selling to your Xbox customers. So that's a shift that's happened recently.
Yeah, it's interesting. We just continue to be in this case of, well, we'll see, or this state, sorry, we'll see what happens, I suppose. And we were saying that when they bought Activision Blizzard, and it was like, what's going to be exclusive, what isn't, and even as Starfield was clearly going to be multi-platform at one point, and then that was changed. That stance has softened. We're still getting some games that are releasing first on Xbox, and that'll probably be the case for the foreseeable, because there needs to be some incentive. You can't just abandon the hardware altogether. That would be bonkers. So I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of their games do still get earlier releases and things like that. But certainly it appears that, I think he did actually come out at one point and say the Elder Scrolls 6 was going to be exclusive. That may have come out because people were asking for ages, and he just wasn't saying. And I would not be shocked that by the time that comes out, there is a firm multi-platform
policy.
In place, whether that is day and date or slightly after.
Which wouldn't feel weird, given that all the previous ones have been like that. But it's like there was a phantom behind the scenes period of time where it was going to be exclusive, and then that has been backpedaled on.
But as long as we've been covering Phil Spencer's Xbox, and Game Pass and stuff over the past few years on this podcast, the twists and turns and the ways that it's changed, and what does this mean? And now he's just saying, Yeah, we don't really care if you play it on Xbox, so we're just going to put it everywhere. It's mad.
Yeah.
The sort of 180 from where we were, certainly. But, a healthy Xbox is good for everybody, especially now that they have like 5 billion employees under their corporate structure at all the different studios they've bought. And, all those games they're responsible for.
I did see someone online as well in the wake of this news saying, like, this is really bad news for everyone, even for PlayStation, because it's going to kind of reduce competition. Sony are now going to think, oh, well, we're the big boys. And it's like, well, that's not strictly true. It might reduce hardware competition specifically if Xbox choose to release something very different in the future, and maybe in 2 generations' time, they might not release anything at all. However, having Game Pass and Xbox continuing to exist as an entity, even if it becomes far more digital, there's still going to be an element of competition there, and at least in the quality of their games that they're producing. So it's not going to completely change the delicate balance of the way things are in the sort of the video gaming food chain right now. I think ultimately there's still going to be healthy competition. It just looks a bit different now from in terms of how Xbox are making their products and their content and so on.
Mm-hmm. Well, we will see. Let us know what you think of all this down below. What is this thing you talked about at the start?
Well, I found a time just so we can slot it in to talk
you
about
type
it.
it in
Yeah, when did you do that?
You said that
Don't
earlier. And
question
I've written
my
notes for this as well. How did I do that?
Don't question my abilities.
What?
I'm a woman. I'm full of mystery. I thought we could do a segment called What We Playin.
Okay. It's What We Play in time. Time to talk about the games, what we have been playing. Peter Austin, what have you been playing?
Bit of a weird one this week. Weird news.
Random.
No, only in the sense that last week I finished, according to various definitions, I finished 3 games, and I thought, well, those games are all done. Next week I'll move on to something different. But as things have turned out, I've played all 3 of those games again this week.
Well, you said you finished Astrobot, and then the day we did the podcast, they released 5 more.
Exactly. Annoyingly, they're doing that thing where they're releasing each level like 7 days apart or 10 days apart or something. So I've only played 1 of the Astrobot things. And oh boy, if you didn't like the final level, you won't like it. It's nowhere near as hard, even though as you enter the hub area, it says something like, test your skills to the ultimate degree or something. Like, it's time for the ultimate test of your skills.
No thanks.
So it's not an ultimate test of your skills. It is not as hard as the final level, but it is that style of level where you're going down just a thin corridor with the floor breaking and loads of enemies flying at you. So it's that style of thing. I preferred having, for example, last week, the Christmas level where it was just a nice big world to run around in and explore. I do prefer that over the sort of the challenge runs, but I still had a good time, and I'm looking forward to playing some more. The bot I unlocked at the end of that level was one from a game that I like, so that's nice, and I'm looking forward to seeing who else is going to be in it for the next 4 levels, which I think goes into sort of early March by the time they're all going to be out. I didn't think I would go back to Star Wars Outlaws, but I couldn't quite stay away, knowing that I had a bunch of things to mop up, at least in Tatooine. I'm not mopping up anything on any other planet, but I was committed to that desert planet that we always go back to, and I went back to it because we always go back to Tatooine.
It's the rules.
Yeah. So I've just been sort of, speeding around on my speeder, doing races and little contracts and meeting people in the street and doing stuff for them. So that's been fun. But I think I am kind of reaching saturation point now. I've had a good time with it, but I'm kind of done now. And then also, I went back and played a little bit more Orcs Must Die because, again, as I said last week, just as I finished all of the actual bosses you can fight, which is the main kind of once you've done that, you're kind of in a sort of endless end game mode. It was only after that they pretty much updated the game and added like new special barricades. I think they actually added them before the final boss.
The shiny barricades.
But yeah, the shiny barricades. So I didn't get to play with those very much. And then I also realized after defeating the final boss that Maximilian is playable. So I kind of thought, well, although I've kind of done everything there is to do in the kind of immediate on that kind of scale, I did want to go back and play as Max for a bit, use the new toys, see what else has been changed in that patch. So I played that a couple of times this week, and again, thinking I might now move on, but that was nice to just play a little bit more of that and with a new character, because I only ever played as the one character that I picked at the start. I've not even tried any of the others. Apart from there's like a bear guy, isn't there?
Yeah.
And he has a jumping ability, which makes it a lot easier to find some of those crystals in the overworld. So when you're doing the jumping puzzle, use the bear. But I've not taken any of them into a mission. And that's all I've played. Just the same 3 games again.
I've played very similarly the same games we've been playing for the last few weeks. I played more Orcs My Side Death Trap as well. We did the first 2 bosses, and then we got to, I think, the 3rd boss. Like there's a sniper guy.
He's the last one, I think.
Oh, is he? And then
unless they give them to you in a different order, but
I don't know.
He was the last one for me. Yeah,
we did a 3-1, then a 4-1, and then this is a 5-level one. And we got to the boss fight, and we'd like planned our whole route out, and then for some reason all of our barricades disappeared and they all just ran into the rift.
God, it sounds really buggy in multiplayer. I've not had a single issue in single player.
I don't know if it's like because we're playing cross-platform, because one of us is on Game Pass and one of us is on Steam, but yeah, like we had the kind of enemies that run up to a barricade and blow it up. But then we replenished the barricades that got knocked down, and then suddenly we turned around and all of the barricades had just gone, even though we defeated the kind of sappers, I think they're called. So we lost that boss fight, and then I was like, I want to go to bed. So we haven't finished that yet, but we are enjoying it. It's nice to have a game we can play together. But then apart from that, I finished Dragon Age the Veilguard. I had a great time with that game, like really, really fun. And I love a team up battle at the end. I love when you can see all of the people that you've met throughout the game, and you know, people come to help you. Love that. Love it. Love the moments when it like cuts back and I'm like, hey, I know those guys. I'm really interested to know. I wanted to talk to you about this because you obviously have also finished the game, but you haven't been here, so I have not had a chance. And without spoiling it on the podcast, I'll talk to you about it separately. Because I wanted to know how much some choices actually affect the final battle, because it sort of felt like that I kind of felt like I had I picked the correct people to do the correct things, in the sense of some of the outcomes that were negatively affecting some of the characters were well, I couldn't see this happening to the other character, so it doesn't really make sense if I'd picked the other person. So I'm curious to see how much it would have changed had I made other decisions. But I really enjoyed it. The final battle I didn't think was very hard, mainly because I feel like I was souped up to the max.
It's always the case in RPGs though, isn't it? It's especially when you can level up yourself and upgrade your gear, you spend the entire game chasing these big bads, and it's as soon as I'm actually allowed to fight you, you're going to get destroyed. But for some reason you get cutscene immunity, so I can't touch you.
I had they give you an ability right at the end where if you've done a certain thing throughout the game, you can just use this ability, and it's the more you've done of it, the better it is. And I pressed it, and I just had all of these buffs that took up the entire left-hand side of my screen, and I was like, I'm invincible.
You're the people's
right
champion.
now. I am the people's champion.
Nice.
But I had a great time with that game. I really enjoyed it, and I really liked just how it played and all the characters, and I had a great time. I think if I'd have played it last year, it would have been in my top 5. So I'm kind of disappointed that I didn't play it last year.
If you're on the fence, do give it a go. Criminally underrated.
Really enjoyed it. And the last thing I've played is Avowed. I played some of it on stream, and then I played some more of it last night. And it's really jarring going from Dragon Age the Veilguard and playing Avowed, because you have in Dragon Age this really charismatic character that you're playing as, who reacts to things and talks, and I feel like she's really fun to watch. And then you play Avowed and your character's just gormlessly staring at the camera, not reacting to anything. And I don't want her to speak. I don't care about voice acting your protagonist. That's fine. I just think it's really funny when it cuts to her and she's just blank face, and the other character goes, "Whoa, Envoy, what happened to you just then?" I'm like, nothing happened to me. She literally didn't even blink. It's so funny. I'm really struggling to put separate them in my head because I just really enjoyed the protagonist in Veilguard, like the Rook, and now I'm playing as this and I'm like, I don't care about her because she's literally not even reacting to anything, and like I feel like not connected to her at all. But I need to give it more of a go. I think I didn't love it when I first started because for some reason it wouldn't register a controller on Game Pass. I'm playing on PC and it wouldn't let my controller be in charge, so I had to play mouse and keyboard, and I was really struggling with that one. But last night I played with the controller and I had a much better time. I had to completely relearn how to play it because I didn't know any of the buttons. I still actually don't know how to make my companion do his ability because it was on the bar at the bottom with mouse and keyboard, but now I can't find it, so I need to figure that one out. But yeah, it's good. I think I need to give it more time. I think I felt the same with Dragon Age of Veilguard. Like, it took me a little while to get into it, but I feel like if I give it some more time, I might enjoy it. People really love it and it's had really good reviews, so I feel the need to persevere, but I'm not feeling as connected to it as I was with Dragon Age. I don't think.
I really want to give it a go.
Yeah.
I've got it downloaded on my Series S, so we'll see how it runs on there. But
yeah,
I think it will be quite jarring, as you said, going from the Veilguard, which is definitely a more slickly presented game and probably a far more linear and when I say focused, that's not an insult to Avowed. It's just Avowed, I think, gives you a lot more freedom of choice.
Well, it sort of encourages
decision-making
you
and
to
things.
wander around, and it's a bit like Baldur's Gate in the sense where you're wandering around and you might encounter a conversation that, you know, affects something or gives you a quest and whatnot. But I think, I understand what you're saying. It's not super linear.
Yeah.
From what I've played, like I said, I've only played like 3 hours of it. But I'm going to give it more of a go. We'll see.
Yeah. I played. I know I said I've not really played anything. I have actually played a few things.
So
but,
you lied.
But my playtime in each has varied from like 2 minutes to half an hour. So it's not really sunk my teeth into anything this week. So starting off, of course, with Elden Ring Night Rain, which
How'd that go?
that did not work at all. Some people may have seen my VOD. Some people may have attempted to watch live when I streamed during the first closed network test period on Friday last week, and it just didn't work.
Yeah.
I was able to get to roundtable hold. I was able to choose one of my one of the 4 playable characters that you're able to play as, and then as soon as I tried to load into a game, the servers crashed. And I tried for an hour to reconnect to the servers, getting in, having a little play about, never actually getting into a game properly.
The entire front page of Twitch was just their like main menu splash screen.
Yeah.
It was broken. Just did not work. And then I was busy all of Saturday. And then there was one last time period that I could jump in on Sunday. And I loaded it up about 10 minutes after this closed network test period had started, and I was having exactly the same problem, except I couldn't even. Oh no, I could actually get into the. I could get into the round table hold again, but again, I was just being booted back out. So I tried that for about 10 minutes, and then I was like, I've got finite time. I'm not going to sit here at home and just try and brute force my way through these server issues. So I think some people did actually manage to get into games over the weekend, but because I haven't really been around, I have no idea what the reaction's been like online. But certainly when I tried to play it, I simply couldn't get into it.
The only thing I've seen about it is that people couldn't.
Yeah, I've
get
not
into
actually
it.
seen. I mean, I'm sure some people did get in, but I've not seen anything about actual gameplay or reception or anything. It's
Yeah.
just everyone couldn't get in.
And that's why we do a network beta.
Well, yeah,
test.
it
Well,
is.
exactly.
Because
That's
the
what it's
network
for.
didn't work.
No, it did not. Not work.
Not work.
Closed not work test. But it is really unfortunate at the same time, because fans of Elden Ring in particular, which is this huge world-beating video game, a world-conquering video game, is this follow-up is going to be divisive to them, because it's not what the previous game was. It's something a bit experimental, something a bit different. And even though you're right, the whole point of this is to stress test the servers, and the servers are not ready, clearly. This is a horrible first impression.
Still not a good look. Yeah.
Word of mouth is not going to be good about this. They really needed this to be successful, at the very least to the point where people could actually get into the game. People couldn't even play it to say whether they liked it or not. And I think that's going to do some real harm to it. And that is a shame. That's unfortunate for them. They may well have another test before it releases, but it's not long now.
30th of March, I think.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they've they might be a bit buggered here, quite frankly, but we'll We'll see.
Yeah.
I've also played a little tiny bit of Minecraft just because I think I was waiting for my tea.
Yeah.
And I saw it on my dashboard, and I was looking through my trophies, just idly scrolling through my PS5 to kill time. And I noticed that the PS5 version of Minecraft, I had 0%, and I realized it's because I was playing on peaceful.
Yeah.
And so it disabled all the trophies. So I was like, well, I can't have that. And I just loaded into a game, built myself a little hole in the mud, and like crafted some tools and things like that, and just popped like 10 trophies in a row. And then I was just there thinking, I really want to play some more Minecraft now that I've built my little hole in the ground.
Why would you begin a trophy? Like, why would you start a bunch of trophies? If you leave it at 0%, it's just 0% forever.
Well, I was always going to go back to Minecraft anyway at some point. It was just in that moment.
It is inevitable that everyone will always go back to Minecraft.
Exactly. They yearn for the mines.
Yeah.
And so I just thought I'll kill some time, get a few trophies, and then I haven't had time to go back since. But definitely Minecraft is on the radar now for just hopping into and mucking about, just getting some easy trophies.
I remember on the 360, I think it was, if you played a game and you didn't unlock any achievements, you could sort of like take it off your achievements list, like the 0%. But then you would do the inevitable thing where like you're around a friend's house, you're playing some crap game for a laugh. You would pop a single achievement for like finishing the tutorial, and you'd be like, that's on my list forever now. Do I need to 100% this now? That's,
I have 1% in Naughty Bear from back in the day on PS3. They do let you hide trophies.
Right.
And they also let you delete them if it's 0%. So
they may do
can
that
hide
on
things
Xbox
now, which is nice.
nowadays.
But yeah, the struggle is real. I played the tiniest bit of Silent Hill 2, picking up from a save that was clearly made when I was very drunk, because I can't remember how I got to where I was.
Oh, no.
On 2 occasions now, since we last recorded, I have loaded up that save, walked around a corner, put about 40 or 50 handgun rounds into a monster before deciding, no, I'm not going to continue with this save because I've just wasted like 3/4 of the ammo that I've been picking up. So I turned it off, and then I turned it back on, did exactly the same thing again. I have now concluded, maybe just don't shoot that thing.
Yeah.
Maybe just run past it.
Yeah.
And that's why I played a Silent Hill 2. That's my grand progress in that. I went to hang out with Ciaran Henry, editor of this podcast, and James Jenkins as well.
They're good.
We got a couple of drinks, and then we went back to Kieran's house and hung out for a bit. And we played some Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Love that game. Really fun. And also a little bit of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, which is also fantastic. Just a little bit of side-scrolling beat-em-up. The final thing I played is called The Boat Grandma. Now, hold your questions.
Of course it
until
is.
the end.
Right, okay.
So this was another instance of, I'm tired and like long drive tomorrow, can't really be asked to like hop into anything significant right now. Let's just have a doom scroll through the Xbox store. And there's this free game called The Boat Grandma. And what it is it's my first Unity project. So much so that the main menu, you can literally see the vast expanse of the void behind, like the default gray void behind the main menu. You go in, you load into a house, and the Boat Grandma is this T-posing thing that this person's made.
Is it grandma?
It's grandma, yes. And you have to avoid the Boat Grandma and question mark. You can't leave the house.
Where does the boat come in?
She's got like a boat face. I've got a photo. Do you want to see
She
it?
has a boat face.
I think she's got a boat face.
Did you just say she has a boat face?
She's got a boat face.
Boaty Muck boat face.
You heard what I said.
Indeed,
Grandma McBoat face. So if she sees you, she sort of slides, T-poses towards you, not very fast. And when she gets you, there's no scary game over screen. It just sort of, the game stalls for a significant amount of time. And then it says, Grandma got you. Try again. You can't leave the house. You can't do anything.
Try again.
Right, where is she? Is this the Boat Grandma? Is Xbox going to let me zoom in?
This better be the boatiest face I've ever seen.
The Boaty's Muck boat face.
Yeah.
Right, hang on. It's not going to be worth it, but I'm going to show you the Boat Grandma.
I want to see the boat grandma.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh,
Show
that's
me
a
the
terrible
boaty.
screenshot. I'm going to have to Google the Boat Grandma and I'll find her for you.
Well, I forgot to mention something else I played
Go
this
on.
week. So we were invited to Nova Game Expo, which was like a virtual
Oh, yeah.
gaming expo for a bunch of kind of indie games. I can't remember all of the names of them. Some of them didn't work. It was like a game in itself. Like it was a Unity thing, and you kind of wandered around as a little robot and then walked up to stalls, and you could like read about it and then play some demos. But some of the demos didn't work. So a few of them I kind of like the look of. I didn't actually get to play, but one that I did get to play that I really enjoyed myself, and I've already wishlisted it on Steam. It's actually out now. I just haven't bought it yet. It's called While Waiting, and it's kind of like a hand-drawn game where it would be like wait for the bus, and you can either just stand and wait for the bus and get a sticker, or you can try and like achieve other things. So there'll be like a sticker of a pug, and it'll be like you're mine now or something, and you have to try and figure out how to get those stickers. And I quite enjoyed my little time with it. It was quite good fun. So I checked that one out on Steam if you're looking for a kind of silly little cozy game.
Nice. Right, I've got a description of the boat grandma and a photo of the grandma. So it's called the Boat Grandma. It's got 935 ratings, 4 stars. This very good.
Wow.
Welcome to Boat Granny, which is not what it's called, by the dev Nate. You have to hide from Granny, and if Granny sees you, Granny will chase you. Simple winky face, and then just says yes.
It's grandma to you, actually.
Grandma. So that is the Boat Grandma. She's literally. She's got like a captain's hat on.
Oh, what?
She's got like a sail on one T-posing arm.
Okay, so they've just
She looks like a bottle of matey.
She does, yeah. That's a very good point.
A bottle of what?
Matey.
And what's that?
It's like bubble bath for children.
Oh, yes. I didn't know it was called Matey, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The little captain one.
So it's definitely intended to be a horror game. I had 2 attempts. I let Grandma catch me on purpose the first time and saw that ending. The second time, I sort of kited her around the house and then went to the front door in an attempt to leave the house, and I couldn't. So I was like, this is the game.
Yeah.
So if you're interested, the Boat Grandma, it might not be as good as the game you just described, but it is free.
Yeah.
So you can go check out the Boat Grandma on your Xbox right now and have seconds of fun.
This is what Phil Spencer was talking about.
Yeah.
It's more
You
important
can play
now that people
everywhere.
I don't know. The Boat Grandma might be an Xbox exclusive. This may
Maybe.
be one of the last Xbox exclusives. You've got Halo and the Boat Grandma.
Yeah.
And,
it's the only thing pulling people towards the hardware now. Is the Boat Grandma.
The Boat Grandma.
It's the only thing I played on my Xbox this week.
Yeah.
It was the Boat Grandma. So that speaks volumes, I think.
Yeah.
And that's all I've played.
Well, now it's time for question 2. Comes from Last Choice. Hi, Bap.
Hello.
I've seen that Rockstar have been discussing with user creators to allow them to bring their own creations to GTA 6, allowing them to build their own custom experiences within the game, modifying its assets and environment a la Roblox and Fortnite. The cynic in me sees this as an easy way for them to monetize others' work for their benefit, allowing them to rake in even more cash than GTA Online with even less effort, making me doubt that there'll be any meaningful DLC. So after the single player story is done, that is likely it for me until GTA 7 in 2050 or whatever. What are Team TripleJump's thoughts?
Thank you, Last Choice.
Thank you, Last Choice.
Thank you, Last Choice.
My first question so we talked about this on the news, didn't we, Ashton, a little bit, and I didn't really bring this up then at the time, but my first question was, how do GTA Online custom maps currently work? Because I've watched a million videos of like hat films and various people playing cool races that are up in the sky. Usually it's races, but I think you can make other types of things
You can
too.
make all kinds of
things. And is that just like a bit like, I mean, this is a dated comparison, but like build your own skate park in Tony Hawk's, like just bits
Sort
pop
of,
together, I
yeah,
guess.
so I think how it works is I've not made one, but when I was doing a GTA 5 stream a few years ago, I think I was looking at I was making like playlists and stuff. And I think it's basically you get a bunch of assets and then you can kind of pick a certain type of like thing. So it could be like an elimination one or a race or whatever. And then you just build it. You get the kind of the area. There's only, I think, certain areas you can build, and you can't like build across the whole city in one go. You can kind of pick an area and then you just build it. I think you build it outside of GTA. I don't know if you can build it within game. I think you have to build it somewhere else.
Yeah, because my thought was, I know that stuff exists. I've watched loads of YouTube content about it, but I realized I don't know how that stuff is actually made and to what extent it is, done officially through a GTA app or GTA adjacent
I think
app.
Most of it is. I think the only ones that aren't are probably like modded stuff.
Exactly, because obviously modded stuff does exist as well. But this sounds a bit more like, if not similar to that in terms of functionality, it certainly sounds like it's going to be far more versatile. Because if you're making a comparison to Roblox, for example, you can make anything on Roblox if you know how to do it. There's someone, a younger relative of mine, still plays a fair bit of Roblox, and he showed me once that he's just got this like bee garden. Like he makes the flowers grow, and then the bees come and do the honey, and then the more honeycombs you unlock, you get like new bee skins and stuff. And that's something that someone's made from the ground up. That's a bit more than just build a racetrack. You can only build racetracks though, or maybe a few other things. So it certainly sounds interesting in terms of its versatility. And I sort of facetiously said to Ashton as well during the news video, do you think we're going to see Rihanna's next big concert happening in GTA 6? That kind of thing. So I'm kind of cautious about this because it does work so well for Roblox and Fortnite. Certainly for Roblox, that is just built entirely upon, I mean, there's official stuff too, but it's so much dependent on user created content. Fortnite, bit kind of less so. I think a lot of people just play fairly vanilla Fortnite, and they're just looking forward to the next kind of official packs and seasons and stuff that come out. So I suppose that's two ends of a scale here. Is this going to be that people can make absolutely anything they want, and it's very much a Roblox sort of thing, or is it lean a bit more, kind of towards Fortnite, where there'll be new and interesting stuff happening all the time, but perhaps it'll be done a bit more officially via Rockstar with kind of brand deals and stuff? Because have you heard that DJ Khaled is going to have his own radio station in GTA 6 playing just his music? Right. So I can see a lot more of that happening potentially, where kind of custom content that may or may not have been made by the community, or maybe has been made by Rockstar or some kind of third party, is released officially, but it kind of feels a bit Fortnite-y, where it's like, hey, we're promoting the next season of The Mandalorian or whatever it is, So it's an interesting prospect in a game like GTA 6, which is, inherently linked to crime and violence. But, Fortnite has guns in it, so it's not much different in some ways.
Yeah, I think that we've seen the success of user-generated content on things like GTA Online. I think that a lot of people nowadays, when playing GTA Online, are playing the user-generated stuff. I mean, obviously some people are really into keeping their nightclubs afloat, or whatever it is you do in GTA Online, heists and stuff. But for the most part, when I see GTA Online content, a lot of it is either modded servers or roleplay servers or people doing racetracks and game modes that have been created by fans. So I think that it makes total sense to provide people with a platform and the facilities to create stuff for GTA, because it's going to happen anyway. It's just how much you kind of lean into it. When you give people the opportunity to build stuff in a game that other people can play, you increase the longevity of your game infinitely. For free. And I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing to encourage people to create things where they can make money from it. Obviously, it's difficult to know how much. It's difficult to quantify whether it's worth it, whether the hours that would go into creating something would potentially end up making you enough money to justify that. However, we've seen with other things like Roblox and it's not mentioned, but The Sims, for example, the people who create custom content and make things for games make money from people who want to support their work as well. How it works in The Sims, you've got a lot of CC creators who will have a Patreon, and you can access things a month earlier rather than it goes out for free, just to support someone from creating things that you want. So I think that it is a good thing to provide people with the tools. I think it's a smart thing to do that. But I also don't necessarily think it's going to stop Rockstar from also creating stuff. I mean, they will obviously get a cut of any money spent in the game towards mods. And we already know that they've got a massive modding team from GTA Online working for them now to create stuff. So I think it's going to be... I think it's interesting, and I think we'll have to see how it's done. I also think that it's really going to depend on what GTA 6 is like. We haven't seen really anything regarding how it's going to play or how the maybe online system is going to work yet. So like we don't actually know whether the whole thing will be encouraged to like you can play the whole thing online or whether it'll be very separate like it is with GTA 5. So I think we'll have to see how GTA 6 looks and feels in terms of like whether this is potentially a good thing or a bad thing.
There is probably a right way to do this and a wrong way to do this in regards to not pissing off your user base, certainly, because we've seen with Bethesda specifically with their content creation club or whatever it is. What's it called? The Creation Club, where they started selling stuff that people were making. That's not going to fly, really. And GTA Online 2, or whatever this version is, whatever iteration, as you said, this ends up being, if it's combined or not, will long outlive the single player in terms of, GTA Online is still going strong now.
Yeah.
And it all depends on how they really go about it, because on PlayStation Plus, you could get access, I think they may have stopped it now, but monthly for a long time, you got access to like $1 million in-game dollars for GTA Online as part of your subscription. And if we're and honestly, that generosity, even though it's not real currency at all, that allowed people the freedom to express themselves how they wanted in the game. It really made GTA Online something very different from Roblox and very different from Fortnite. And they could lose sight of that unique identity that they created if they do lean into here's Eminem performing in GTA or whatever. You will still, they've done that stuff before, albeit offline. Ricky Gervais had a stand-up routine in GTA 4, and they've
but
done.
That's not user-generated content.
No, absolutely. What I'm trying to say is that if they,
it's a Fortnite comparison as much as
if they do lean more into the Fortnite stuff, they could lose a big part of what made GTA Online so special and alluring in the first place. And we've seen even GTA, which is too big to fail, is not too big to fail if they decide that they want to pick a fight with Roblox or Fortnite, who are the established giants in those fields. They need to, if they do lean more into that stuff, they still need plenty of what made the role-playing aspect so significant and is still so significant in GTA Online. Wasn't there like some Shakespeare performed in GTA?
Literally this week, was it Macbeth or Hamlet? I think it was both. I think they've done both, but I think Hamlet's this week.
During lockdown, actors who had nowhere to perform congregated in GTA Online and put on a production in-game of Shakespeare plays. And now there's a movie about it that's come out. And I think it's been reviewed really well as well, all about how they managed to come together. I'm not saying that, the prospect of them looking to bring content creators over, by which I mean literally people who make content for the game in other platforms at the moment, over could jeopardize this. But this is a really important aspect of GTA Online that made it so successful that they will need to hold on to. And it's on the very surface level, I don't think necessarily it's a bad thing, because it just means that right out of the gate, if in the least cynical way possible, right out of the gate, they're going to have people who know what people want from these online platform kind of games, making stuff to present to an audience that they potentially already have. And then there's just loads of user generated stuff. But the cynical part of me is thinking it's Take-Two. They will monetize every aspect of this to the extent that actually it could potentially jeopardize all of the creativity and all of the freedom that GTA Online permitted people, because they've had a chance to essentially start over here and build it from the ground up with more monetization in place.
Yeah, and as Last Choice suggests, will they, if there is just that much to go at in terms of user created content, will they not feel the need to invest too heavily in DLC and their own official sort of expanded stuff? I mean, I don't think we will ever come to a point where they decide we're not going to do that for GTA 6 because we've now thought, let's add this like user creation stuff in there. But people already have complained, I've seen, about the way that GTA 5 was handled in terms of DLC and the heists and stuff, that, there was stuff that was added after the fact. But I think some people have been a bit dissatisfied with the relative lack of content that Rockstar actually released in the end for GTA 5 in terms of like actual story stuff. I mean, you know, they can quite easily come out with a new pack of cars or whatever it is, or skins, or now you can buy this building. But with story driven missions and things, there wasn't a great deal of that, relatively speaking. And so if that's already an issue with this game, an existing game that doesn't have a super extensive user creation system, how likely is it that that's going to improve in GTA 6? You know, is it only going to get worse potentially? I don't know. Or maybe they've learned from some of that feedback and thought, okay, well, we'll do both.
I think if we're looking at like the comparison between Roblox and Fortnite, I think the thing we would probably be looking at in regards to this version of GTA Online would be a list of servers or game modes made by people like what you see in Roblox, where you open up Roblox and it's just a list of things you can do. You got your dress to impresses, your like Slender Man hunts, your parkour things, and then you just go in and you pick, I want to be part of the roleplay server, I want to be a policeman, or I'm going to do this race track one where it's just like races over and over again forever. I think that's like if that's the comparison we're drawing from, if that's the kind of inspiration that they're taking, we wouldn't get a GTA Online in the same way we've had it before. It would just be a platform for people to create additional content. Yeah. And they can obviously create their own stuff. And then you can buy GTA bucks and spend them in game to get like VIP or whatever it is you want to do. That's how Roblox makes its money, is people buying in-game currency because they want to level up in a certain thing. So realistically, like if they're looking at Roblox and Fortnite, that's probably more what we're looking at them planning to do, more than a GTA Online in the same way they have done it previously.
And this is assuming, as you said, Ashton, that there even is a complete separation of church and state, and that GTA Online is a separate thing rather than fused into the single player somehow. I don't think people want that necessarily, and I hope they haven't done that. I really do hope it's as simple as just booting into a different mode on the main menu. But yeah, it'll be fascinating to see how they do it this time, because certainly GTA Online, when you first start it, it's got this whole intro sequence where you're picked up from the airport, and there are missions that appear on the map similar to the base game, but you can do them with friends. And yeah, will they scrap all that in favor of just, as you said, playlists of things?
Yeah. We'll have to see.
Don't know for sure. If they did, it would be a bit odd though.
Ugh. Do you smell that?
I do.
It's a bit weird, isn't it? A bit stinky, peculiar.
Bloody stinks.
Weird.
For
what?
Weird news.
Weird news.
It's weird news time for some weird video game news. Remember, if you want to submit some weird video game news to us, you can do so under the relevant social media post that goes out on a Wednesday. However, if you'd like to guarantee a shout out at this point in the podcast, you need to go to patreon.com/Team TripleJump, support us at the appropriate tier, and become a podcast producer just like
Michael Pendlebury,
Andy Scott,
Chris Thompson's Thumbs,
Eric Sew,
Blake Thomas,
Nicole Hansen,
Great Giggity,
GY Goliath,
Gabrielle Philipping,
and Big
Meep,
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 Bobby,
meep,
Vegas,
meep,
meep, meep.
The day that Big Money Bobby Vegas becomes perhaps
Not a podcast.
more sensible with his money, Bobby Vegas,
Yeah.
than to give it to us
Well, he's
every
got
month.
so much big money.
Well, this is it. This is
But
why
he
I
won't
have
be if he keeps
zero
giving it.
fear. But the day that he's not here, it's gonna if
gonna
anything.
be a noticeable
And Gabrielle,
absence.
me, Philippine,
yeah,
me.
they'll just be inherited. The air horn will be
Yeah,
inherited.
yeah.
Otherwise, we'll have to think about toning down the air horn just in case. Maybe he
Yeah.
just gets one next week. Just,
Yeah.
Well, we don't want to put him off.
Well, that's true. Maybe we
He's
give
all
him
that's
more.
keeping the lights
Maybe
on.
we give him more. No, we love you,
No.
podcast producers.
Thank
all
you
of
so
you,
much.
all of you
Equally.
equally. Thank you so much. You know what? Everyone gets air horns.
If you all want an air horn, just change your username on Patreon to Big Money Blake Thomas.
Big Money
It's only
Michael
because he's big
Pendlebury.
money. That's why he gets the air horn.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, Peter, have you got some weird news?
I've got some weird news here that was sent to us by Stephen Skodes at sscodes8 on Twitter and Lloyd Williams, top fan on Facebook.
Top
No
fan.
relation.
Not a relation, though. And it's according to Nintendo Life. No, it's not random. This is a serious news story on Nintendo Life.
Somebody asked on the podcast, on the Discord, being like, why do they say random when sometimes
it says it
because it
on
says
Nintendo
random
Life.
at the beginning of
It's how they categorize these stories on Nintendo.
It gets a little tag that says random, and usually it says random : before the headline starts. But this one is not random.
No, it's really actually not random. It's really sensible.
Yeah, please just take this seriously. It's written by Jim Norman.
Random.
Norman man.
And the headline is not random. Nike has gone bananas with these Donkey Kong Country inspired trainers.
They kind of ate with these, I'm not going to lie.
Oh, sorry, that's a new one. They kind of ate with these?
They kind of ate with these.
Okay, from context, I get that that's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll show you photos of them eating in a minute.
Yeah.
They eat feet, don't they? Shoes, technically?
Yeah.
They've got a tongue.
And then they stick them out
what?
when you take your shoes off.
Yeah. The worlds of gaming and footwear cross over more often than you might expect. The snazzy Pokemon Crocs collection took our breath away last year. I saw a picture, I clicked on the hyperlink of that, and there were these Charizard Crocs that were very cool. Yeah.
Blimey.
Bull Airs released a range of console-inspired sneakers, and even Converse has got involved in the past too. All of these hyperlinked to previous stories. But all of them pale in comparison to what Nike has been cooking up. A pair of Air Max 1s inspired by Donkey Kong Country. This news comes from footwear site Sneaker News, which reports that the
Why laughing?
That's a resource for people who break into buildings.
Kazuya Mishima is Kazuya Mishima from Tekken in his bio in the game manual. It says his hobby is collecting sneakers. Which is sure. He's got like the devil gene and he collects sneakers.
It's an expensive hobby.
It's good to have hobbies.
Yeah,
you can't just be about punching.
No. So Sneaker News reports that the Big Head Origins design is expected to launch at some point in the spring or summer period of this year, though nothing has been confirmed as of yet. And damn, it is quite the design. They really ate with these. It doesn't say that.
Oh, I really hoped it was. I was like, wow.
Entering into Nike's swoosh low poly range, the sneakers have a cream mesh main body with a brown suede mud guard and a yellow midsole. A red low poly swoosh logo adorns the side, and even the Air Max 1 detailing on the tongue has had its resolution dropped a little to really nail the retro feel.
May I eat them as well?
Sure. In just a moment.
Okay.
There is a bit that is edible.
Right, okay.
So it seems. The real DK goodness comes in the insole's secrets. As showcased by Sneaker News, the insole is printed with a low-resolution mud texture, 2 golden DS coins, a dot swoosh play on the usual DK coins, and a couple of polygonal bananas for good measure. Delicious. Just in case you still had any doubts about which character the design was based on. And here is
I love trainers.
a picture of them.
I think they look really cool.
Yeah, they are quite nice looking. Yeah, they kind of ate with those.
They did kind of eat with them.
Yeah, that's the low poly swoosh.
I like the polygonal logo. That's cool.
I have a lot of Nike trainers. If I ever won the lottery, I would have so many trainers. You wouldn't even. I'd have to have.
Would you wear them once and then put them in the box?
No, I would wear them all the time.
Oh.
I wear my trainers until they're like the soles are flat.
Mm-hmm.
I have a pair of trainers that I wore all the time for like the last 5 years that are basically just flat at the bottom. They're my Nike ones that are blue and red.
Mm-hmm.
They're like the whole back is like.
Can you not replace them?
Probably, but I just haven't got around to it yet. They're quite expensive.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Nike has yet to formally list this new design, so I think Sneaker News has got the scoop there. But the fashion website Hypebeast estimates that the sweet sneakers will retail at $150 on launch.
That's why I haven't got new ones, because I only ever get shoes for Christmas and birthdays, because I'm not buying myself these massively expensive trainers.
We'll be keeping an eye out for more details on these shoes over the coming months, much to the distaste of our poor wallets.
Who's Paul Wallet?
Paul
Wallet's
he
from
owns
Nintendo Life.
he
and he hates shoes, I can only assume.
Yeah. Yesterday while I was watching YouTube, saw the most mental advert, which was like, it started off just being like Nintendo, and then it was like just Luigi going, and then it just like panned out, and it's just, they put Luigi on the Pringles can, and it was like, your 2 favorite guys, and it was like Luigi, and then it went, and the Pringles man. And then it was the Pringles man. And it was literally just on a packet of sour cream and onion Pringles.
Oh.
Luigi's on it.
Do you think they're friends?
And the
Do you
advert
think
went
they
on
get
for like 2 minutes.
What, in the UK you can get
Yeah,
this?
well, I think so. I mean, I got the advert last night.
Nice.
That's a good flavour of Pringles.
Worst
as well.
flavour of Pringles.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I want Waluigi on my barbecue Pringles.
Oh.
That's what I want.
What are the yellow Pringles? Are they barbecue?
No, the purple ones.
Oh, yeah, okay. His other colour.
Yellow are like chicken in Australia, maybe?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we've had some to the tap hill before.
Yeah.
They're weird small ones.
So is Mark going to be on salted Pringles?
I don't know. I only got an advert for the Luigi ones, but yeah, it was literally just so weird. Like your 2 fave guys.
Oh, sorry. Did you say
Favorite guys.
Waluigi or Wario?
Waluigi.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's why you said purple. I'm like, oh, yellow? Yeah, Waluigi, yellow.
Have you seen that there are Minecraft movie Doritos at the moment?
Yeah.
You can get green ones and
No,
you
I
can
don't know
get
if I had seen that.
purple ones.
Yeah, I think so.
maybe?
I
But
don't know what
they
they
haven't
mean.
actually coloured the crisps. But the green ones are they're salt and vinegar.
Ugh.
yeah.
Salt and vinegar Dorito.
Yeah, apparently they're really strong.
Ugh.
And it's a weird combination of corn. Like you never really have salt and vinegar flavoured corn.
No, you don't,
chips.
do you?
No.
Never thought about that, but it doesn't really
So,
exist.
Yeah, keep
I
your
don't
eyes
like
peeled
what
for
they've
those.
done with Doritos at the moment.
I don't like what they've done. I don't like the direction the
Well,
Dorito brand is
they've
taking.
changed-
Those square ones,
They've
haven't
changed the way that they taste because they've made them extra crunchy, and I don't like them.
You know what?
now.
That's true. I haven't had Doritos in ages because they're too expensive. And then
Yeah.
I had a pack the other day, and I thought, I just assumed my palate had changed.
No,
'Cause I was
they've
like, I don't
changed
like
them.
these. I don't like these as much as I remember enjoying.
I was
Yeah.
really upset when I had some Doritos the other day. I was like, these are rank now.
they? Oh, I might get some at lunchtime and see if they.
But not the little packet, only the big
Oh, just the big
packets.
ones.
The
Yeah.
little ones are still has God intended.
Right. Okay.
They're still working through
Made
the
in
old
his
chips.
image.
Yeah. Anyway, so I've got some weird news, less
Yeah.
about Pringles and that. This comes from Trivia Apostle at, I can't read my own handwriting, Inuyashi 16. Sorry, I've written it. I can't write my own handwriting. And this is from Kotaku by Kenneth Shepherd. Nothing is safe from the live service grind. Not even sex toys.
Not even your sex toys.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Tell us more.
Sometimes I think back on the arrival of achievements when suddenly every minuscule or major accomplishment in an Xbox 360 game earned you a little congratulatory chime and persistent points to fuel your bragging rights. We didn't know it then, but it now seems that what a harbinger for the modern era in which companies give people fake little treats for engaging with all kinds of apps and services. In an effort to build brand loyalty and keep you coming back, plenty of mobile apps reward you for daily logins, completing certain tasks, and making their specific product or service so entrenched in your life that it becomes part of your routine to use
Is
it.
this a companion app for a sex toy?
It sounds like it.
Wait a minute. You'll see it in Duolingo's language lessons to Pokemon trading card game pockets, pack cracking, and Snapchat streaks gained by sending pictures and videos to the same person. But I gotta say, the last place I thought I'd find dailies was in an app for long-distance sex toys.
Long distance.
Lovents.
Oh yeah, those are the ones you can.
Lovents.
You can both have one.
Yeah.
And you can sort
Is a company that creates sex toys that sync up across long distances
There you go.
through an app. So if one person is using a vibrator on one side of the world, another is using a synthetic Pringles can on the other. That's what it says in the article.
with Luigi on it.
You
Yeah.
can use the company's app to control vibration intensity, get approximate sensations that mirror what your partner is doing with their toy, and try and close the distance between the two of you for an evening. That's all well and good. Long distance sex is a time-honoured tradition and has only become more prominent in the days of the internet. However, the dystopian twist is that this app has dailies, like your favourite live service game.
I'd love to just be a fly on the wall with two people doing long distance like internet sex toys, just like, oh sorry, I'm lagging.
The distinctly
It's not
unsexy
connecting. It's not connecting via Bluetooth.
aspect of setup where you share friend codes
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah. I was first clued into this by a Tumblr post by user YokoWan that made a joke reading
Yoko wank more like.
why does my butt plug have dailies? With a screenshot of an app that listed daily tasks such as connecting a toy to the Love Ents remote app or controlling a toy for at least 3 minutes. At first, I
Wow.
thought this post was just a joke about how every product or service we use is trying to embed itself into our lives with the live service nonsense. Then I downloaded the app myself to check, and lo and behold, there's a whole section on the app dedicated to daily tasks, prizes, and in-app currency. This is what it looks like.
Really struggling to get the 3-minute achievement on my butt plug.
Yeah.
It's a skill issue.
Got any advice?
Yeah.
What
So
do do
your
with the
daily,
currency?
so you can, I guess, cash it in towards a prize wheel where it looks like you
One
can
of them's
earn.
a fish. No, that's a butt plug.
That's a butt plug, yeah, and that's a vibrator.
It does look a bit like a
So
fish.
you can spin. Yeah, it does look a bit like a fish, but yeah, so you can spin the wheel, maybe get a free sex toy.
So I was going to say before I knew about the prize wheel, some people who innately not fall for, but like really enjoy this kind of stuff.
Sex toys.
Sex toys, yeah, this kind of stuff. Enjoy achievements and things. Will probably just each day turn their butt plug on,
Just leave
even
it
if
on
they're
the
not
side.
using it. Just so
Yeah.
they now that there's an incentive, people are absolutely going to be just turning their butt plugs on and leaving it for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Get their money.
Sooner or later, everyone who plays a live service game reaches the point where it starts to feel like a job. The game becomes an obligation that gets in the way of you playing other games and doing anything else, and ultimately
I better
making
shove my butt plug.
you might have.
Sorry,
love-
guys, I can't play Marble Rivals tonight.
Yeah.
Got to catch up on my dailies.
And then we tether ourselves up to so much in the life trying to make numbers go up. Why the flip would you want to attach this bull flip to sex as well? Humans are creatures of habit, and that's why. I'm already envisioning some insane scenarios this kind of thing could lead to, like one person saying minutes into a sexy FaceTime call, "Don't come yet. I have to keep controlling a vibrator for 45 more seconds to finish my daily tasks." Stupid.
Or
Anyway.
like, oh crap, it's 3 minutes to midnight and I've not got my daily yet.
Quick. Pop it in.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Wow.
That's what you can do.
Well, what's this? It wasn't Pornhub. Some porn website was trending for several days on Twitter this week or last week because there's some kind of game attached to it. And my understanding was that I was like, have they monetized like you have to like jerk off more than anyone else? It's like how are they policing that? But I think actually it might be a game where in the game you're jerking off. I think they've made a companion game. I
Okay.
didn't look very far into it because I was too busy playing the game, obviously.
Right, yeah, you're doing
So
your dailies.
I'm telling half a story here, but it wasn't that story.
Should I look it up?
Some other porn site was trending for like 2 or 3 days in a row.
I'm
because
going to
they'd made a
Google
game.
porn site at work, and I just want everyone to know
You're doing
this
it in
is
private
not.
browser or are you doing
No,
it?
I'm doing it straight up. on
She is
Google.
making
But,
a
like,
mistake.
I was going to
The
say put
amount
porn
of
site
stuff
game,
that
but
I just,
that's
like,
not going to work either.
Google on my just not in incognito, just like forever, just for
That's insane.
funsies.
That's
I have to delete my history all the time because I'm like, why did I Google that thing?
The cookies, they know.
The cookies.
They know you were there.
If you put like trending on Twitter, someone might have done a write up about it, like
Yeah.
a news story. But speaking of which, would you like to maybe start your news?
Yeah,
Ben?
and I'll
Yes.
find this before I just open porn for a bit.
I've got a weird news story from Jens Herman on Facebook. This is an article from Nintendo Life Random.
Sorry.
Switch carts survive house fire unscathed thanks to Nintendo's sturdy cases.
Oh wow, it's like the Game Boy from
Yes, the war. The
yeah,
war.
somewhere.
That war.
Mm.
The one.
Yeah.
Jim Norman wrote this. And it says the Switch itself often comes across as a fragile little device. The Joy-Con will drift, the stand will break, the rails will wobble, but never again will we say a bad word about the console's game cases. Those resilient little guys can fend off the elements. At least that's what Reddit user Demure Sow discovered last week.
Demure Sow.
That's really funny.
That's what it says.
That's Miss Piggy.
Last week, after a fire from a power strip short-circuiting engulfed their bedroom in flames. Fortunately, everyone escaped unharmed, and firefighters were able to extinguish the blaze. But most of their belongings, physical game collection included, were destroyed. You would think that a disaster as serious as this one would lay waste to everything it touches, but not those precious Switch carts. Rather than succumbing to the flames, the Nintendo Switch boxes
it's
stepped
bad
up to the
out here.
plate and provided an unexpected level of protection, keeping the games within safe and sound. Naturally, the boxes themselves took quite the beating, as the following Reddit, that's the box there, it looks like burnt toast. That's what the game cartridges were being stored in there.
in
goodness.
in a bit of bread. What
No,
was that?
it just looks like toast because it melted. That was like a container.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It looks like French toast.
But prying the melted mass of plastic apart with a hammer and a screwdriver, Demure Sow found that no such damage had befallen the all-important carts. Well, then it sounds like this box was what protected the carts, not the carts themselves.
Well, the box melted, so...
Yeah, but it protected the cards inside.
Also, I've stopped looking now because I looked on Twitter and I just got greeted with like just full frontal sex in GIFs. And I was like, at work,
Full
on
bush
camera
at
right
work.
now.
Unbelievable. The real kicker, all of the games still work. Replying in the above thread, Demure Sal said that they have tested each cart and everything is in working order. Of course, the important thing is that everyone made it out okay, but it's going to take more than a little heat damage to stop those cases from doing their jobs.
I feel like I've had a stroke because I was looking at this article and I was like, what does it mean cart? Like, I'm so confused.
Yeah.
I was like Mario Kart. Do they have like some carts? And then I've just this second realized
Cartridge.
Cart is short for cartridge. I've just never heard anyone call it a cart before, I think. I mean, like, on my game cartridge, I've never heard someone call it a cart. No.
I still
But I just
maintain
didn't put two and two together.
that as impressive as it is that the cartridges have survived and they're still working, and that's
It was
something
actually the loaf of bread.
It was the loaf of bread that melted that they were stored in that did all the protecting.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
whatever that company is that
They should get the
manufactured
credit.
that, they deserve all the
Nintendo
credit in the
didn't
world.
do anything.
No, they didn't. But yeah, there we are. You got anything, Peter?
No, fortunately, I stayed in the news tab of. By going to the all tab, I found it. It's on Know Your Meme.
I went on Twitter and it was dangerous on Twitter.
Yeah, I bet.
What is Jerkmate and Jerkmate ranked? The competitive gooning rank from TikTok memes explained. It's TikTok.
No.
People are
Gooning.
joking about having a competitive ranking on the adult webcam site Jerkmate. Why? Because Jerkmate ranked sounds like something that only the truest of gooners would know about.
Stop saying
Stop.
goon.
Okay, I'll stop saying it. So I think maybe it's actually
Oh, I like your
something.
stripy phone case.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry.
So maybe Jerkmate ranked is actually something else, but people were joking about like, oh, I've got my high score.
I'm level like 500.
Yeah,
on Jerkmate
I'm the
ranked.
number one in my county or whatever. I guess maybe that was it. So that served me right for not clicking on the trend and reading far too much about.
I'm fuming that I've
G
had to hear the word gooning twice.
Yeah, not good.
Absolutely awful day.
But hey, blame Know Your Meme. It's like a.
And I saw full bush today as well on Twitter while I was looking for it.
I told you to Google it carefully.
It's like
I
an
did
after
Google
dark.
it.
This episode.
I know.
It's time for the big discussion. It's big discussion time for the big video game discussion that this week comes courtesy of Chris McVeigh. You good?
Yeah, I'm just
She's just thinking about the
giggling
word.
about gooning.
Oh,
Stop it.
You're
You
the one
said
who
it.
keeps saying it
I
now.
know, but
Unbelievable.
Now the word is stuck in my head.
Chris McVeigh says, hi, Bap.
Hi.
And then
Hi.
clarifies this question was asked in a fit of confusion upon reading the original reports of this news. It now turns out this was nowhere near the scale I thought, but I'm keeping the question up for posterity.
Oh.
The question starts. Feels like a long time since a round of gaming industry layoffs has been a surprise, but NetEase has managed it by wiping out the Marvel Rivals team. This seems to go against even the awful logic that informed most of the previous layoffs, the game being one of the few live service success stories recently, with a massive yet healthy community and lots of growth still to come. If this is how the industry works now, where regardless of the quality of your work, you can be thrown out afterwards to save the company a few quid, why would anyone pursue a career in game development at the moment? Is it easier to imagine a world where the whole industry goes belly up? Is it easier to imagine a world where the whole industry goes belly up than one where the people responsible for the games themselves are treated with respect? Thank you, Chris. So I've got a bit of a write-up here because there's a lot of clarifying to do.
Yeah.
This is from Andy Chalk, brother of...
Charlie. Sorry.
Charlie.
Sorry.
Damn it. One day she's going to learn who,
I'm not going to
who Charlie
remember
Chalk
that.
is. Andy Chalk from PC Gamer. Marvel Rivals is a big hit, the first real challenger to the longtime hero shooter Big Dog Overwatch. Yet amidst that success, with more than 200,000 people playing on Steam alone right now, NetEase game director Thaddeus Sasser, great name,
We
says...
thought it was Thaddeus. Do you think it's Thaddeus?
Oh no, it's Thaddeus, probably Thaddeus. Thad Sasser,
We also said great
Great
name.
name.
great
The
name,
news story.
says the Marvel Rivals development team in the US has been laid off. This is such a weird industry, Sasser wrote on LinkedIn. My stellar, talented team just helped deliver an incredibly successful new franchise in Marvel Rivals for NetEase Games, ... and were just laid off. Sasser's LinkedIn profile lists him as the game director at NetEase working on Marvel Rivals. Level designer Jack Burrows confirmed the layoffs in a separate post. Welp, just got laid off from my job working on Marvel Rivals with NetEase, Burrows wrote. Was an enormous pleasure to work with my American co-workers who joined me in this sad culling. Just couldn't dodge that big boot, I guess, no matter how big the success of the gig. And that's really the heart of the matter. Why would NetEase do this? Marvel Rivals is a major hit, and as reported by Chinese site GameLook, it seems to be making a lot of money, an estimated $136 million in its first month alone. At the same time, the game is still finding its footing, and as we saw recently with Multiverses, a strong start can fade quickly if the team behind it doesn't stay on top of things. The core Marvel Rivals development team is presumably based in China, but even so, cutting off an entire studio at this very early game is a hit stage is baffling. Some have speculated this may have been the plan all along. Get Marvel Rivals spun up and then cut the team operating it down to the bone. NetEase has been dialing back its US plans in recent months. In November 2024, it ended funding for recently founded studios World Untold, launched in 2023 by BioWare veteran Mark Walters, and in January, it pulled the plug on Jar of Sparks, founded by Halo and Destiny 2 veteran Jerry Hook in 2022. In August 2024, NetEase also reportedly laid off most employees at Uka Studios, the developer of Visions of Mana, before the game even came out. NetEase isn't shy about cutting back where and when it deems necessary, in other words, but even in that light, this is a weird one. Marvel Rivals is a hit, but it's also still in a fragile formative state, which doesn't seem to me like the best time to be laying off developers. There has since been an update from NetEase, who have now confirmed the layoffs of Marvel Rivals Marvel Rivals developers in a statement provided to PC Gamer. It reads as follows. We recently made the difficult decision to adjust Marvel Rivals development team structure for organizational reasons and to optimize development efficiency for the game, a NetEase representative said. This resulted in a reduction of a design team based in Seattle that is part of a larger global design function in support of Marvel Rivals. We appreciate the hard work and dedication of those affected and will be treating them confidentially and respectfully with recognition for their individual contributions. The company added that the core development team in China remains fully committed to delivering an exceptional experience and that it is investing more, not less, into the evolution and growth of the game. We're excited to deliver new superhero characters, maps, features, and content to ensure an engaging live service experience for our worldwide player base. NetEase didn't say how many employees were put out of work, but confirmed that there are now no Seattle-based developers working on Marvel Rivals.
It doesn't have. There's a bit of information I wondered if you were going to bring up that you didn't. Wasn't in the article. So this team were the map designers exclusively, and that's not being like. So they weren't that important. But there has been a lot of conversation since this happened of, well, actually the team was quite small. There was only maybe I think 6 to 10 people in this team, and also. They were the map designers exclusively. So there's a conversation of, well, maybe they designed the maps for the next 3 years and that's all they needed from them. So they've now let them go. But it's still like...
It still sounds like it was very sudden and unexpected.
Well, yes.
That's the thing, though. So if it was... This must have... You have to assume or you have to hope that these companies... lay out their plans roughly, like a bit of a roadmap ahead of not just the development of the game up to release, but how they're going to handle it after release in a live service context. And if it's true that they thought, well, once we've got all our maps sorted for release day, we might not necessarily need any new maps in the foreseeable, or we can have that team create all those ahead of time and we'll slowly release them over the next couple of years or whatever. If that's part of the plan and part of the roadmap, why has it come as such a shock to these people? You would think that they should have been hired on a kind of a non-permanent basis, like either as kind of a contracted team, or you're full-time, but it's up to a finite. What do you call it when it's like a finite full-time job? I don't know what it's called.
I think it is like
temporary contract or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's as you say, Ben. It seems to have come as a sudden shock to those affected by it, but reading between the lines, I kind of get the impression from NetEase that it wasn't as much of a shock to them. They've not had to react to something and say, oh God, I think we need to cut some of our team here, because why would they need to do that? Why would they find themselves in that position when the game has been such a success? I think, it doesn't ring true to me that this is any kind of reaction on the part of NetEase. It seems like this was a plan. And so why did the team not know about this? Why are they shocked?
Yeah, it seems like everyone who was laid off, as well as a lot of games journalists, was very surprised by this. And it seems like NetEase, like you say, were not surprised even a little bit. So,
which is okay, by the way, I should say. If it was if it was their plan, it's okay to plan to have temporary staff, but it's not okay for it to then be a shock to people.
Yeah. So I think it's an interesting one with this situation because it is a live service game. We said on the news, like if the game was out and, you know, it's done now, the game's been out for 2 months, they've done all the patches they feel like they need to do, there's a smaller team working on additional content going forward, that I think makes more sense than we're in a game that's currently coming out, is in season 1, and we'll have more seasons down the line, and we'll presumably have new maps and stuff additional to that. It feels very interesting that members of the team are being let go. I think the biggest story about this really is the fact that it doesn't matter how good a game is, the game industry is still so cutthroat, and it's all about making money and where you can trim the fat, as it were. And I think that it's interesting that a game that is doing so well and is still very much part of the zeitgeist and is giving Overwatch a run for its money in a lot of ways, I think it's a very interesting thing to have to let people go. Or like I say, it could have been temporary, like it could have always been the plan. But the fact that it's happening, it just looks bad because of how successful the game has been.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. I've heard all sorts of reasons for why this could be, you know, the usual the bollocks that they've said there about it. Global development efficiency, optimizing, organizational reasons and stuff like that. Won't be
It's meaningless.
it doesn't. That's not a reason. It could be as simple as you said, like the maps are done. We don't actually need your team anymore. I've also heard that, you know, it could just be the state of the industry right now where people's jobs are just being cut all over the place. I've also heard, and there may be zero merit to this whatsoever, that it could be because of the sort of trade sanctions, tit for tat stuff going on between China and the US.
I was wondering this because they have been, like I said, been pulling out of the US quite a lot recently,
Yeah.
and there was a lot of comments in articles about this that, well, they still have a few US properties, and is this, before this statement came out, was very much like, is this the sign that NetEase are just going to pull out of America completely and they're going to stop supporting anything in America because of what's going on?
Like they might need 10 people to do maps or whatever it is, and they might continue to need them, but they might think, well, I would prefer if we had 10 people over here doing that rather than in a country where there are all sorts of issues with moving money between the place.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't know if there's any truth to that, and I'm not suggesting for a moment that companies have a right to just or not right. They have a duty, although they do technically, to just keep a team on that's technically got nothing to do, just because they're making loads of money and they can afford to keep them on, because that doesn't make sense. I mean, there's levels of common sense to this where, yeah, you know, you should, if one department's not really needed anymore, you would try and find work for them doing other things, or, you know, just keep that department ticking along somehow because they have some sort of maintenance or maintaining work to do there. But like, you know, it does very much feel like the rug was pulled from under these guys, and that is, it has to be horribly demoralizing. Was it Chris who asked this question? To anyone, any prospective game developers looking to get into it, that it doesn't matter how successful your game is. This stuff could just end for no reason at any time. I'm being blasted with heat right now. I'm just going to turn this off. I don't know why the fan in here has changed where it was pointing. It's obviously awful news, and Marvel Rivals is extremely successful, and also the writer of this piece, Charlie Chalk's brother, Andy, does make a really interesting point that it is still, while very successful, it does need to capitalize on this momentum. And you would have thought that they would want to just keep everyone involved, at least for the time being. How desperate is this reorganization that they needed to cut them loose after like a month and a half after launch?
It's bad press.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It doesn't look good. It makes you look bad. Like it puts like, oh, Marvel Rivals, and then the second you look it up is, well, they just sacked a bunch of their staff despite success. Like there was a lot of comments in the news, a few people being like, well, it's not that deep, and a few people being like, well, that's awful, like it's just another corporate company that's just lining their pockets because they can and not thinking about the people behind these jobs. And it does, it looks bad, and just adds a little bit of like a bad taste in people's mouths when you think about it.
Yeah, I did say in the news video as well that, I mean, success, a game having a level of success it might equate to revenue, but not necessarily like huge profits. It depends what the cost and the budget of developing the game in the first place and continuing to maintain the game was. So, and maybe that information is out there, and actually you can demonstrate quite clearly that, oh no, Marvel Rivals is turning a massive profit. It's not just bringing in a lot of revenue. It's like, it's not costing anywhere near as much as it is to, they're offsetting all of their costs is what I'm saying. But if that information isn't available, it's not necessarily just safe to assume that they're turning massive profits, and therefore how can they possibly justify letting go of these people? Maybe it's been a bit of a costly endeavor for them, and we don't necessarily know the ins and outs of that. So
I don't know. It's more crap news, and it's regardless of the reason, it's just particularly crap that it's happening with a game that is so successful and seemingly making tons of money as well. We may get more information as the story develops, but for now at least, hopefully those people who are affected can find work elsewhere easily enough, and they've clearly created or helped create something extremely successful and very popular, so hopefully they'll be snapped up by other studios who are looking for that kind of talent. And we'll see what happens with Marvel Rivals, I suppose. It could well be that, as the article says, that they are just looking to get it running and then just keep like a skeleton crew to maintain it and, get all the content they want to make. But at some point, they're going to have to make more content.
Yeah, they will need new maps.
I don't know. We'll see if
I'm sure that they're like a year ahead of where they are now.
Almost
they probably have some maps in the bank, and
we'll see if the feedback in seasons after those, in the simplest of terms, once the maps that these guys have made have been used, we'll see if the feedback is, oh, these new maps are rubbish, aren't they? They don't feel like the old maps or something. And then, by that point, these guys will hopefully be gainfully employed somewhere else, and they'll be too late. Too late to bring them back. They're not coming back to you.
It's too late to apologize.
It's too late. Everything you own in a box to the left. Jojo, right? Was that Jojo?
You started singing a different song.
That was a different song.
You were singing Beyonce.
And that's...
Yeah. Was that Beyonce?
It was a different song, and then the song that you did sing wasn't by JoJo, it was by Beyonce.
Which one did you do?
I was too late to apologize.
Right, okay.
And then you was like, to
Everything
the left,
you own in the
to
box.
the left.
Everything you own.
It was
I
a
knew it was
different
I knew it was a different song.
Okay.
Yeah. I just wanted to check who was the one that sang my song.
Beyonce.
Was it Beyonce?
Yeah.
I thought it was JoJo.
No.
It's too late to get out. It's too late to apologize. Or something.
Get out right now.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That's also another song.
By JoJo.
By JoJo.
I don't know that one.
I'm not sure if she says. She does say it's too late. It's too late. I can't wait. Yeah, she does say that.
But everything you own in the box to the left.
That's Beyonce.
That's Beyonce, and a different song from what you were
singing.
And
a different song.
And that is what you need to take away from this podcast. That's the most important thing that we managed to work out between the three of us.
Yeah, well done.
Thank you so much for listening, everybody. Let us know down below what you thought of everything we spoke about, and we will see you next time. What's up?
I'm just laughing at the Beyonce thing. It just made me laugh. Carry on.
We'll see you next time. There's a few places around the internet you can find us. Peter's going to tell you a couple right now.
Head to youtube.com/Team TripleJump for some great videos. And also you can go to twitch.tv/Team TripleJump for most of our live streams, occasionally on YouTube as well for special occasions. And if you've got Amazon Prime, you are paying for a bundle of things, including a Twitch sub. So you can redeem that against us at no extra cost and get all the benefits of being a subscriber.
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, on all of which we are Team TripleJump. Also Blue Sky, I forgot to mention that one. And patreon.com/Team TripleJump if you'd like to support us.
TripleJ.mup is our website. There you can
Sorry, what's that?
Triple JU.mup.
Yeah.
If you go there, you can find links to everything that we do. Also, if you go to triplejU.mup/video game, it will redirect to the Steam listing for the video game that we are making. We're making one. You can go check it out.
You can romance Ben in it. No,
can't.
You can't.
There's no romance. There is no bush in that game at all.
There is actual bushes, though.
There are bushes.
But no bush.
No bush, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Why not leave a 5-star review on your platform of choice? It helps something to do with Al Gore's rhythms, and by golly, we would just appreciate it so gosh darn much. So please go and do that. Ashton, just enough time to talk about this.
Talking about bush, you can see if fishmen have bushes in the Avowed spin-off Endowed.
Yep.
You're welcome.
Certainly can.
Cool.
Yep. We'll see you next time, everyone.
Yeah. All right.
Have a good weekend. Bye.
Bye.